those who have free minds. Those who can see behind the veil of illusion, know the truth, and can stand on it.
My pro-black, really pro-black, anti-hip-hop dress code. That's no cap, no facts. My white cells assassinate. Any kind of virus get chewed up, masticate. My immunity's indestructible. I'm a pillar of my community, no deductible. General Tucson leading the revolution. To black problems, we are the only fucking solution. No outsiders, no white saviors, we gatekeeping. I keep trying to wake them up cause they stay sleeping. Jooks is armed with ancestral wisdom, so I don't trust people that still trust the system. We gotta eat like Sebi, fight like Ali, think like Malcolm, migrate to Merca, Somali. I carry my own water, so I value every drop of it. Drowning at the bottom, so I swim up to the top of it.
If I say it, then I mean it. I'm never backing down. Only a few real ones left now. If it's truth, then I'ma stand on it. If it's justice, then I'ma stand on it. If I say it, then I mean it. I'll never take it back. And if you ever hear me say it, then it's facts. That's my word, and I'ma stand on it. That's what you heard, I'ma stand on it. Yeah. What happened to principles, character, fortitude? Healing through alchemy, magic is what I'm born to do. Time to purge the planet from human toxicity. People do any and everything for publicity. It's way out of control, destructive, they weak and careless. We either stand for what is right or else the people perish. Putting these devils in a panic, now we got them frantic. The righteousness of justice is poetic, Pac and Janet. You don't know lies from truth when you wearing blinders. Wisdom separates the strong people from the spineless. They tell me to kill them with kindness, be considerate, but everybody's capping out here, nothing's legitimate. Nobody surrounded us everywhere, but the souls is missing. The enemy is always watching and the ops is listening. No wonder most of these people feeling defeated. The language of God is encoded and they can't read it. If I say it, then I mean it. I'm never backing down. Only a few real ones left now. If it's truth, then I'ma stand on it. If it's justice, then I'ma stand on it. If I say it, then I mean it. I'll never take it back. And if you ever hear me say it, then it's facts. That's my word, and I'ma stand on it. That's what you heard, I'ma stand on it. Rusty Jugs, Kai Phynix. Yeah.
Yeah. Peace and Black Power family. Welcome to another episode of Doom Knowledge Radio. Place for knowledge is bonus. It's your host, Knowledge Born Online. I had to adjust my camera. Okay, I had to clean off my third eye. I had to dust off my pineal gland because this is happening right now. You understand what I'm saying? Like, me and this boy, we should go all the way back to like 2016, 2017 time frame when they had the world by storm. Like they had the whole family. Had the whole world by storm, and it was out here doing magnificent work. So, she took mercy on my little kind African soul and was like, I'll come by and see you. You know what I'm saying? Like, stop crying. Okay, fix your face. I'm going to come by and see you. You understand what I'm saying? So I'm definitely honored and blessed by my ancestors, by our ancestors, to have this divine mother here with us today. One who walks it like she talks it and lives it. The number one advocate for Black love and Black family here with us. So it becomes my honor and privilege at this time to introduce some, present the others, and welcome back to Do Knowledge Radio, the Warisha herself, Phynix Eshe Obasi.
Wow, thank you for the intro. That was very, you know what I'm saying? Like, I was even getting into it like, wow, that was a nice intro like that. You know what I'm saying? And for the record, I'm very glad to be here because it's an honor for me too to be here. I'm definitely not, like, it's fine, I'll just come by. No, I definitely appreciate being here today too. So I'm definitely grateful.
It's love. Y'all come from one of the greatest African families on the planet. So I'm definitely honored to have you here, in that representation, in that space. Okay. How you been? Where you been? You know what I'm saying? We getting nosy real quick. Where you been? How you been? What's good with you? What's good? What's good with you? What's good?
Well, I've actually been doing really good. It's been a lot of personal work that I've been having to do, just really just kind of getting myself together, whether it be musically or, what I've really been doing online and everything. So I haven't been as present musically and everything like that more recently. I do know that last year I did do a couple of musical pieces. So you can always go to my YouTube, Phoenix Fire on YouTube, and check out what I got on there. So I do have Kilambo, and I also have Meditate with Me on my YouTube. So I do got a couple of pieces on there that I did do. Um, as it relates to right now, I got some stuff brewing. You know what I'm saying? I'm really kind of changing up some things. I'm coming into a new phase in my life. I'm coming into a new phase where I'm family building now. You know what I'm saying? I'm building my own branch of the family here, and also, I am doing things different musically. I'm doing things different as far as incorporating now with getting out, reaching out, and really just kind of letting my voice be heard with speaking and doing the videos and stuff as well. So with all of these things being the case, as I'm stepping into my new decade, as I'm stepping into 30, I'm really just kind of going through a transformation right now. So that's really what's been up with me.
I love that. I love that. I love that wholeheartedly. Okay, you understand what I'm saying?
I say.
New decade, new you. Okay, new
Absolutely.
decade, new you. Okay, love you. I love that. Um, your diverse, your diversity in music, your talents is so diverse. You understand what I'm saying? Like it's not just, she dance, she sing. You know what I'm saying? She dance, she sings, she rap. All of the poetry, everything you could possibly think of in the creatress, she has it embodied. And on Smash. So y'all been listening to these other ones. Y'all just better be glad she been, you know, mothering and rebranding because some of the stuff y'all put out wouldn't have made it. Okay, wouldn't have made it. So keep giving y'all some grace, giving y'all some time. You know what I'm saying, to get it together. And she's coming back. And I don't know if we're ready for the phoenix to come from the ashes. Are we ready for that fire?
uh,
For that rebirth?
well, everything that's new won't just be my music. It'll also be me as who I am as a person. And I'll be coming fresh and new as somebody completely different. So, if you're still hanging on to the threads of the old me and who I was, you might not be able to keep up.
Hey,
See. But I definitely plan on getting releasing some new stuff soon. So once I kind of get through everything that I'm going through right now, a lot of y'all know I'm going through a pregnancy right now. So, me and my king, we really just trying to move on through this part real quick. You know what I'm saying? Let's get on through this part. Let's
yes,
get this baby on in the world. And then I got some stuff that's brewing right now. So we gonna get this on, we gonna get it on popping.
I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. So that's a perfect place to start. You've been in the virtual space, seeing all of this other agenda, gender wars happening, and
We.
all kinds of things, taking place. So before we get into Black familyhood,
Mhm.
we could start with Black motherhood. Motherhood is under attack. Mother is seeking to be usurped and redefined and misdirected and all of those things. And that's enough to put the whole universe at war. But
It is. And
what does go
I'm sorry.
ahead.
Go ahead.
You was about to say something fly. You was about to say something fly.
No, I
It's
say
like you heard my question. You was about to answer it already. Okay, you was already ready.
is that's definitely the case right now, and that's one of the biggest issues. But I want to hear what you was gonna say. Go ahead.
I was going to ask you to, you know, define mother. Define mother. What it means to be mother. What it means to be Black mother. What it means to be African mother.
Well, I will say this: African motherhood has existed through to the beginning of time. You know what I'm saying? It's how Africa was birthed. It's how we were able to even get here to be here right now. You know, I was blessed to be able to have a grand example of it through my mother. And, she was definitely a powerful woman who was able to handle a lot of things and be able to, really make a lot of moves and be able to push us through to where we needed to be you know so coming into motherhood was very potent for me because I always knew no matter what I was going to do, that I was going to do. You know what I'm saying? So building a family, I was most definitely going to do. So being able to, create my own version of it as far as bringing children into this world. And, at this point, Black motherhood is something that I am seeing be butchered in a lot of different senses in this world right now. One of the major problems is that when you have a great um, majority of mothers being single mothers, then the problem is that a lot of mothers then have to take on fatherhood. What that means is that we have a lot of Black mothers who are not able to be in their nurturing, who are not able to be in their, loving and caring and all of these different things because now they have to be the masculine parent. And we will get into that and we will go into all of the reasons for that, but I'm seeing a lot of mothers not be able to be mothers. I'm seeing a lot of mothers also who are very how they are to their children. You just wonder, like, what example of motherhood did you ever see? Because they're cruel and they're evil to their children. I'm seeing a lot of mothers also on the other side of things who are not able to keep their children in line, who are not able to provide a balance between discipline and love and care. So those things are being taken away slowly. And what that does is when you take away the Black mother, everything falls apart. So, that really is what I'm feeling as it relates to that.
So Black motherhood, what would be a ideal representation of in the virtual space, in the cinematic space, in the written space? All of these aspects are mediums by which a socialization happens. So whether you're reading about it, whether
Mhm.
you're watching something about it, whether you're hearing something about it, what would be an ideal space of proper representation of Black motherhood that you would like to see?
So you mean basically like, well, I can tell you the things that the different ways and the different methods of representation that I have done, and also other ones that I think we can do and moving forward. Um, as far as it relates to Black womanhood and Black motherhood, around the time that I was 16, so this was probably probably about 15 years ago now. I did a play. I wrote a stage play basically based off of the Nina Simone song For Women. And when I did that play, basically it was taking the song and in the song basically she's talking about all of these broken down women and all the problems that they're having and she's giving them a name. So all the problems of Black women, she's basically humanizing them. And what I did is I took those characters and I brought in the character of a basically a psychiatrist or a therapist, and she's helping these women to heal from these issues that are presented in the song. And so that was one of the ways that I found really I was really able to reach people with, because they were able to see that if you do relate to these issues that these women are having, this is one of the ways that you can, look at it as a therapeutic method of, looking at things and being able to heal from it. of course, through my music and through, I'm also working on writing a novel at this time. So that's something that it's specific. The novel is specifically going through the different ways that Black women can heal and can heal from the angry Black woman syndrome, more specifically. It's also going through several different stories of things that Black women go through, and basically showing the way that these women are able to heal through these issues, or some of the women are not able to heal through it, and basically displaying that as well, and showing that sometimes these women don't always make it to the healing, and they don't always make it to being better and everything. A couple of other ways that I would like to do it. I would like to maybe even do short films, or maybe even step into working on doing more novels specifically on that as well. That is one of the things that I want to do as it relates to my videos and what I want to go forward to do. So these are just the things that I have done so far, and the things that I want to step into doing and moving forward.
Do you think the current space that's operated in those mediums give a proper portrayal or a proper representation of Black motherhood or Black womanhood?
When you say that, do you mean like movies and songs and different things like that that are already out?
Yes.
Um, Most definitely not. But I wouldn't say that as a blanket statement. That's just the first thing that comes to my mind, because the first thing that comes to my mind is, when you have all of these different movies, and you know what I'm saying, that are basically portraying Black women in negative ways, when in Black motherhood in negative ways, when you have all of these songs that are basically having a negative portrayal of Black women, when you have all of these Facebook posts that are even by Black women that are saying all of these things that are completely and totally, out of place as it relates to motherhood and as it relates to womanhood and everything like that. So I would definitely say that at this point in time, what is out at this point in time, and the way that the portrayal is at this point in time, most definitely not. Of course, there are a few exceptions to that, and there may be some people that are, on a minority level, maybe not in the majority or in the spotlight, but people that are doing work to make different songs and make different movies and different things like that for different portrayals. But in general, I would say no.
Okay. 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 So now let's get into, Black familyhood, and I want to preface Black familyhood by Black male-female relationships. You
Mhm.
know, your, you know, this your forte. You know what I'm saying? Now it's the sleeve roll up time to get into this particular space, and you have a platform that you're coming out with. What was the reason or the catalyst behind that platform for you? And then let's get into the male, Black male female relationship dynamic.
Okay. So to first talk about the platform that I'm working on right now, it actually started maybe 5 or 6 years ago at this point. I wanted to basically have a platform to do something different, because, a lot of people know Phoenix as being very aggressive and being very, you know what I'm saying? I come through and I shoot stuff down and I burn it down, you know what I'm saying? And I got that too. But I wanted to create a platform to say, like, what are the more vulnerable parts of me? You know what I'm saying? When I want to write about Black love, when I want to, write about different things as far as womanhood, if I want to do different things. So that's what I originally created my page, My New Voice. That's what I created it for. More recently, I came up with the idea of wanting to do videos and everything. The basis and the premise of that is, um, I was doing a whole bunch of looking through Facebook, and the main thing that I was seeing is just so much, male bashing, and it was so much like people being like, oh no, I would never get in a relationship. And there was so much like, disharmony between male and female relationships. And I was seeing a lot of the majority of what I was seeing is a whole lot of women who were saying like, all of these men, basically marginalizing it to say all of these men, they not worth nothing. What that means is that there's a certain budget that he has to have if he wants to talk to me. Also, I need to see what his car look like. I need to see what, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, they were coming at it from a very materialistic gold digger type of way. And so then a lot of men was saying, well, then I'm not dealing with you at all then. You know what I'm saying? Because when I go deal with white girls, they don't be asking me for all that. So, and when you see this in this way and you see what's happening, it's so ironic, because you see where the break happens at. And I'm going to go back to the beginning of it. And I'm not going to, talk on and wear your ears out, but I'm going to go back to the beginning of it.
I want you to share whatever you need to share, however you need to share. I don't even stop playing. Stop playing.
But no, so when I was thinking about it and I thought about what was the beginning of this? Where did this start happening? Mm-hmm. When you look at it and you go back to, right after slavery, and you go back to segregation, you go back to where they were still sharecropping and everything like that. These people were going through some of the most horrific things that you can ever imagine. But the one thing that they had was the ability to relate to each other, whether it was between male and female, whether it was between young people and elders, whether it was just fellowship and us being able to get together. And, even if it was like, hey, on Sundays, we going to come over somebody's house and we going to, just get together and talk and eat and everything. This level of us being able to relate to each other. But then I started walking through time and there was a break that I started to see. And that break began to happen when, of course, they sent all the black men off to war. Once they sent all the black men off to war, a lot of the women had to hold a lot of stuff down by themselves. And you got to understand one thing. Once black men came back from war, they started to almost instantly go into jails, or they started to instantly be shot, police brutality, or even black on black crime. What started to happen with that then is you have created the beginning of the independent black woman. What does that mean? That means that you've created a woman who says, what I need a man for? You know what I'm saying? Because what does she have now? Not just the fact that she has money. That's not a problem. The problem is this. What does she have now? Now she has an institution that's willing to take over the role of the black husband or the black man in the family. What that means is she either has got the government, which can take care of everything. She don't need to pay for nothing. She got everything taken care of. Her children is good. She got it all. Or she has now went into having a job, and not just having a job, but being able to say, I got everything covered. So it's not just about her being able to have a job or her being able to pay for stuff. Now she is actively, now the black man is actively being pushed out of the household, right? So when a black man come back from jail or come back from wherever they are, they don't know how to be fathers now. Because by the time you get to this point in the 80s and 90s, their fathers weren't in the household. So they don't know how to be fathers now. And the mothers, they wouldn't know how to be wives. They would know how to be like, I can take care of these children. I can take care of this house. I don't need you. But they don't now know how to be in partnership with the black man. So then you now have this dichotomy. The problem is now that you have all of these things set up. And now once you get to the 1990s and now into the 2000s and everything, now it's degrading even further. Because where you were having people who said, well, I have a baby daddy, I got this, and that, and there were children still being created. Now you've gotten to the point where people are like, yeah, I done got to 40, 50, and I never had kids. I really don't want them. I never, I would never be in a relationship. I'd rather just be by myself. I don't even want to be around people. I don't know why I would have a husband or wife ill. I don't want that. And so now you have a whole new thing set up to where the Black family is now being crumbled to the point where it's not existing. What that now is that we're in a place where Black familyhood is non-existent and it's no longer in existence. I was even looking at some stuff even just today where there were people who were like, why would you ever, you know, why would you ever go be in a relationship as a woman? Why would you ever? You could just be in your house and have a cat and watch TV and eat whatever you want and drink whatever you want and do whatever you want. Why would you ever? So the structure of the connection between the Black man and the Black woman has now been destroyed. So anybody who is against us, when you think about it, no longer has to worry, because the thing that was holding us together in those time periods of some of the most atrocious time periods that Black people have had to go through, as it relates to segregation, as it relates to the time where the South and, you was worried about being lynched and hung and all these different things. The one thing that they had was the relation between Black people and the relation between the Black man and the Black woman. Now, if they ever were worried about, like, man, they holding on awful well. They able to, hang on to each other and really do awful well by hanging on to each other and always having that hope within each other. Now they don't have to worry about that. So that really is the timeline. That really is what happened, in my opinion. And I feel like it's something that it has went from being like, man, this is a problem, to like, now this is a sense of urgency. And so when I started doing the videos, I said a lot of these things need to be addressed. Number one, a lot of the things that a lot of women are now going into, a lot of Black women are now going into a lot of different things and saying a lot of different things, and they don't have to worry about it because all other Black women are not going to hold them accountable. And that's the reason why, it can come across controversial at times. And I try to keep it, I try to keep it, try not to, I'm not here to start no arguments. But the one thing we'll say is that you cannot just place blame on the Black man, and there's no accountability that the Black woman is taking and being able to make the healing happen in order to become better. Point in time, now placing blame is very juvenile because it don't matter whose fault it is. Now, if we are going to be doing the healing in order to be able to rejuvenate the Black family, then we all got to heal. So yeah.
Yeah, hear the Phoenix rising, okay? She is rising before us. So the healing work that needs to take place. What does that healing work, look like for each of us? Because our children are neglected and most affected by our inability to come together and to see one another a worth of value. If we don't see one another a worth of value, we're definitely not going to see them.
Exactly.
So it's systematic. I hear words like systemic. It's systematic. We're not honoring who came before us. It did an artful job with how we see those who came before us, our parents, our grandparents, our great-grandparents, everybody in our ancestral lineage. So then it's how I feel about whoever, whatever that day, and then that permeates to everything else in our bloodline and everyone else in our bloodline.
It's
So
true.
now they look at dishonor. You hear things like, we're not our ancestors. We start there with that BS. You see what I'm saying? And then we go to all skin folk and kinfolk. That's another one. So We're constantly looking for spaces of invalidation and separation when anciently, unless you did something egregious to separate yourself, we didn't separate from you. There was no difference. So now we're looking at each other and we don't see ourselves. And what we see when we look at each other is other than self. So now our dynamics between each other is one way, and then our children, these ancestors return that we say that we're not, right? Our ancestors return that we say we're not. We're not connected to them. We're not connected to our children, and our children are most neglected and most affected. So, what does the healing process look like and journey look like in that space, internally and collectively?
That is a very deep question. And, I will start with this. First and foremost, as it relates to our ancestors, one thing that my family always told me is that, your ancestors are you and you are your ancestors. Your ancestors are the reason why you're here. Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
One thing and one concept that I resonate with the most, and that is the most important for me as it relates to healing, to answer the question, is generational healing. The reason why I say that is because, number one, a lot of the pain that we are going through as a people is indeed inherited. And because it is true that we are our ancestors, the one thing that we do have to understand and acknowledge, and we cannot continue to just keep letting it pass, is that a lot of the stuff that we are dealing with has been passed down. There's a lot of us who like to say, well, just don't say nothing. Well, I know that they did it and their grandmama did it and they grandmama did it and they grandmama did it, but just don't say nothing. But I think we've come to the point now where we can't keep allowing that to be the thing that we carry on and carry on and carry on. We have to take the good parts and the beautiful parts and the powerful parts from our ancestors and from our families, but the parts that are the most, painful parts, the parts that are, as we go through these generations, and then we pass down the angry Black woman, and then we pass down, what I'm saying, the father that can't connect with his children because he's just always angry and he's just always, and the son is like, well, I'm becoming the man now. How do I do that? Like, man, I don't talk to you. That's, what I'm saying, we don't talk about our emotions, and we don't. Nope, that has to stop now. You know what I'm saying? So when we come to the concept of generational healing, and when we come to the concept of what it is that you talked about as it relates to this question, the biggest part of that for me is the fact that if we don't do this generational healing and really begin to cleanse some of this ancestral pain, the only thing that will happen is that it will continue to get worse, as it has. It will continue to get worse. It will continue to get more intense. It will continue to become to where now our children have nothing at all. It will now get to the point where there's no connection between Black men and Black women. It'll become to the point where now, the young people don't know how to relate to the elders, and the elders don't know how to relate to young people. It'll become to the point where now we don't know how to see each other in the street and give a greeting and give a positive greeting and be able to fellowship with each other. We don't know how to do it because now all of this negative stuff, now all of this stuff has taken over. And now it has become to where we're not able to now pass through a lot of these things. Now we'll get to the point where, the biggest thing that we have to face at this point is now women becoming masculine. And now women don't know how to go back to their femininity. Now a lot of women don't know how to be the woman of the house instead of trying to, if she is in a relationship or if she does have a good masculine man in the house, she don't know what to do with that. I saw a couple of comments. This was today, and a lady said, it's crazy because I saw a man, he was a good man and everything, but I didn't know what to do with that. I didn't know what to do with that because I thought it had to be something behind it. It had to be something. And so I let him go. But then about 10 years later, I seen him and he was married. He had a good job. He had children. His life was fine. and my life was kind of falling apart. And she said, did I blow it? Well, the big thing that I'm bringing that story up for is this. You know, we don't even know how to, if we see somebody that has good qualities, we don't even believe it anymore. You know what I'm saying? We don't even believe that we can be good to each other anymore. I've seen the same thing on the other side. Men have said the same thing also. You know, so with that being the case, we will continue to pass down these negative traits if we don't then start with being able to do this generational healing. You know?
100%. 100%. What did your personal healing journey look like? Could you share, some of your, thoughts and ideas and assessments on your own healing journey?
Well, this is going to be a very interesting story because it is my personal story, but me being able to share it, I really, it's time. So my personal story is in being able to find my femininity.
Mm.
Um, I will say this, I come from a family of very strong, independent women. You know, being able to handle stuff if it needs to get handled, being able to, begin to set stuff up, make sure stuff get done. And I will always be grateful for that. And I think that how it got interpreted through me, how I interpreted it, was being aggressive.
Mm.
In all my younger years and coming into adulthood and coming into womanhood, that's how I interpreted it. You know what I'm saying? I always, I always make a joke of this, and a lot of people who knew me when I was younger, like, you was a gangster, like, and that's what I was always trying to do. I was trying to be the most fierce. I was trying to be the most fiery. I was trying to be the person that was going to burn down if I needed to. You know what I'm saying? Don't nobody want to come across me because I will cut you down.
Mm.
And that was my interpretation of being strong. That's what I saw it as. But, things in my life began to change once I've had children. Once I had my first daughter, almost 8 years ago now. The fact that she was a girl was kind of ironic to me because she had a lot to teach me.
Mm.
And I had to begin to learn how to come into femininity. It was very hard because even at that point that she was born, I still don't think I really understood it. And fast forward into life more presently, I had to go through a whole lot of, fire burn and trying to be aggressive and trying to just push my way and force my way through stuff. And, I had to then learn. I had to see what strong masculinity looked like as an adult, because of course I've seen it through my father and everything like that, but I had to see it as an adult, and my king showed me, well, this is what you're doing. You're being a little aggressive. And I had to, by that, it showed me, and I'm like, I never saw that before. And then in coming into being a mother and being the queen of the household, I then had to learn, I had to sit with myself and see, oh, the whole angry Black woman thing that I've been pointing out in other people, I had to see it in myself. And what I've been teaching myself is how to be feminine. I'm still going to have my little bit of fire. That's going to be in there. That's not going nowhere. But what does femininity look like to me? And with that being the case, it has been the premise of me being able to, even when I do address it and I do speak to women and I say, I might need to check you on this. it wouldn't have been something that would have been effective if I would have tried to come at it how I was coming at things before. If I would have been like, you tripping and you know you need to change stuff, and if I would have came at it aggressive and I would have tried to force my way through things, I wouldn't be where I am right now. I wouldn't be able to reach out and speak to women and say, let's talk about this so we can heal, sister. I wouldn't be able to say to myself, allow myself to relax, allow my fists to unball, allow myself to be the woman and the queen. So, with that being the case, as it relates to my personal journey, that is the biggest thing for me in growing into a woman and allowing myself to be that, you know? And it's one of those things, I greatly and deeply appreciate the example of womanhood and motherhood and being a wife that I got from my mother. But even being able to teach myself that I had to create my own version of that as well. So that's really what the journey has been for me. And I relate that to what a lot of sisters go through, because having to teach yourself that is something that's not easy. And it's something that I just posted about today, because I saw a post about some women and they were like, going through like trying to figure out how to be feminine, or trying to deal with that, or trying to deal with how do you relate in a relationship, or how do you be the woman in a relationship? How can you deal with Black love if you can't be the woman, if you can't be the feminine, and to balance out the masculine? So that's something that is a very deep concept, and it's not easy to deal with, but my personal journey with that has definitely been profound.
So the reconciliation, process. How did you look at yourself? How did you see yourself? Did you love on yourself? Did you forgive yourself? Did you give yourself some grace, some understanding? Like, how did you work through the process? Did you condemn yourself? Did you say, "Hey, you're going to hell for what you did"? Like, how did you get it together? And what did that process look like for you?
All of that, and I'm still in the process of it. You know what I'm saying? In me bringing these new children into the world, every single time I'm teaching myself motherhood, more something else and something else and something else about motherhood. Every single time I spend time to just meditate with myself and sit down and pray and meditate and vibe with myself, I'm teaching myself about Black womanhood. And I'm teaching myself as it relates to being the woman in the relationship, in the house, so all of these things are in the process of happening. And this transformation that I'm dealing with at this time is really crucial for me, because in really bringing myself fully into Black womanhood and really teaching myself what that really means, and really being able to resonate with that as I'm coming into this new time period in my life, is very crucial. Absolutely.
Yes, yes. I had to let that breathe for a second, okay? Because there's a lot of turmoil. I think we treat everyone better than ourselves. I think we treat everyone better than ourselves. And I think that it's
True.
important to, you know, come to a space of understanding and ancestrally know that we come with, like you said, this is a part of our inheritance. So not only do we come with our own, we come with our ancestral own.
Yes.
So the ability to be able to differentiate whose stress and strain this is versus your own personal stress and strain, who in your bloodline needs to heal from this, who,
Yeah.
needs to be uplifted, who needs to be, you know, relieved from that. You see what I'm saying? And your ability to be able to bear that, but also your ability to rise above it as well. I
Gotta
think
dig. sometimes you got to dig into the parts that, you have been scared to dig into your whole life. Sometimes you got to dig into the parts that, ooh, I don't know if that's going to hurt. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes you got to dig into the parts that, I don't know how everybody's going to take this if they see me dig into this. Well, sometimes you got to dig anyway, in order to fully become who you need to become. So with that being the case, sometimes you got to, because underneath all of that may be your best self.
Mm.
Absolutely. And that's something that I've had to learn as well.
So from your platform, your discussions, things that you have, coming up, what are some of the things that we could look forward to as onlookers, you know, that you can share with us? I know you can't share everything, but what are some of the things that you can share with us in regards to what you're bringing forward?
Well, like I said, I'm going to continue to do the videos. So far, I had kind of started with a lot of what I've been seeing just in the media and everything like that. The main
Mhm.
reason is because when I see the things in the media and the things that are present, it gave me a boost to kind of talk about what I wanted to talk about as well. The main one that I had seen just more recently, everything with the Jonathan Majors case and everything like that.
Mhm.
My last one was about. It was ironic that, I was doing the video right around Martin Luther King Day because this was about the whole Coretta Scott King thing and everything like that. Um, so, I got a chance to talk about that. I got a chance to kind of talk about, that as well. But I also did a video just really talking about the whole single thing and how people are like, really pushing towards being single more so than really building relationships. So I got a chance to talk about that as well. Um, Moving forward, because my videos have only been about 5 or 6 minutes so far, I'm looking into actually doing full length videos or podcasts moving forward. And what I really want to kind of focus more on is really being able to have it be a platform for really pushing love, pushing a lot of the surrounding topics. So when I say surrounding topics is because, you can talk about Black love, but you also have to include, one of the ones that I'll bring up just as an example, the whole thing with Cardi B and everything, and how she was, they had the whole thing with her and the man that she was married to and everything, and they had the back and forth. And when she got back with him, everybody was all disappointed, like, girl, why would you get back with him and everything like that. I would use something like that to be able to say, people really are against Black love. They really are against relationships. They really are against them being together and, different things like that. So I would use a lot of the more current events and different things like that to really just kind of be a platform to talk about. Um, different concepts as it relates to Black love, different concepts as it relates to really trying to move towards healing, also different things that I might see on Facebook, because I'm a part of a lot of Black love and marriage groups, and some of the things that people will post, and you'll see, I take time to really just kind of sit and read the comments to see what people say, and you'll be really appalled by some of the things that you see people say and a lot of these comments, and you're like, why would you ever feel like that? But
Mm.
I really look towards using those as a topic to really kind of start off. And so that's really just where I'm starting off right now. Where things will be going from there, I don't really know as it relates to the My New Voice. So that's where I'm at as it relates to that. Like I said, I am working on some things musically. So I'm going to be getting that together. Also, as it relates to writing, right now I have a novel that is almost finished, and it's called This Woman's Words. Um, Basically, the of it is about a woman that is in Atlanta, which is basically like the Black Mecca. That there's so
Mhm.
much, different variations of Black women there, and everything like that. And really what it is that her and her friend, basically the basis of it is that her and her friend, because she's a poet and her friend is basically like, she's like on social media connecting with people, like she's a journalist, and they decide to get together and put together a women's group. And in this women's group, they basically help women to have a venue to be able to talk about things, but also helping women to basically heal, not just to sit around and be like, girl, I know he did that to me too, you know what I'm saying, but to be like, let's work on let's work on healing. Let's work on being able to bring stuff together. And so as different things began to happen, at the very end of it, they basically began to receive praise for doing this women's group because it's something that is making a bigger impact now. And so that's the premise of the book. I don't want to give away too much because there's a lot that happens on the inside of it. You know what I'm saying? Me getting back into writing is really exciting, but so that's what I'm working on now. That's what everybody can really look forward to as far as what I'm putting together right now.
I love that. I love that. So for your discussions, did you figure out the frequency, or we just got to keep tone? Like you're gonna do it once a month, once a week. Did you figure that out?
Well, I
If,
was doing
if it
them
ain't
more,
none of our business, if it ain't none of our business, then what I'm saying, we just got to stay tuned. But
and I am looking towards getting back to doing them more. Looking back to doing them. Sorry about that. Getting back to doing it more often. A couple of things happened health wise, so where I had to slow down.
Mhm.
So right now, I'm working on getting back to doing it more often. So um, possibly twice a week. And I will begin to have it be more consistent.
Mhm.
But right now, once a week at least.
We excited for it. Okay, rooting for it. I was over here. I was over there for all of the tea and the Hennessy. Okay, the tea and the Hennessy. I was there for both of them. You understand what I'm saying? So yes, yes, yes. And it's refreshing to hear a righteous voice speak. You know, when mother speaks, everybody else supposed to just be taking notes. Right? That's the last word. You know what I mean? So your voice is powerful and it echoes the sentiments of our mothers, of our healers, of our teachers, of those who inspire the warriors. You see what I'm saying? Our reformers, our reconcilers. So the voice of all of our ancestral generations that have been ignored and marginalized. When they say the voice of the oppressed, think about the voice of the forgotten.
Mm,
Like the voice of the oppressed, the voice of the forgotten ones, and mother is forgotten. They attempted to say mother, not mother, birthing person. I was like, who in the, you
right.
understand? I went crazy about that. You understand what I'm saying? I was like, I didn't come from my birthing person. I came from my mother. Like, who else could give birth? Like, what are you talking about? But that's the idiocy that we're dealing with. And then more than that, they become cosigns. So whether you don't say anything or you start using the language, you know, again,
Yeah.
you're cutting yourself off from the legacy and the lineage that gave you birth, that gave
And
you life.
without going too deep into that, just to put this out there, the one thing is this, you can do whatever you're gonna do. It doesn't affect my life as long as it doesn't affect my life, but as far as it relates to motherhood and womanhood, there are certain things that you just, if you are going to decide, well, I just want to decide to try to be a woman now, or I just want to decide to, imitate a woman now.
Mm.
I will say this. The one thing that is the case though, womanhood and motherhood are sacred. it's certain things that you just can't take from us. You know what I'm saying? And I will always stand on that, because my thing is this. I'm not here to try to get into it with nobody about that. I will leave that where it is. But I will say this. No motherhood. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's something that will not be taken. So, and I feel like that's important to make clear.
That's right. That's something I want to make clear also. Okay. And those of us who ain't playing that BS, you understand? Yes. Hands off mother. Hands off women. Or suffer the consequences. Okay. Yes. 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 So do we got a final word of healing? Do we got a final word of reconciliation? Do we got a final call to action for Black familyhood, Black male and female relationships, a Black future, Black nation, Black empire? Give us some of that ancient wisdom you got.
My final word will be this. Above everything else, the connection between Black man and Black woman is the beginning of Black familyhood.
Mm,
The one thing that I will say is that if we continue to allow that to crumble, the Black family will then cease to exist. The one thing that we have to do now is begin to heal so that we can be able to connect as a Black man and Black woman. And once we do that, once we begin to heal that connection, and once we begin to then see each other as our colleague instead of as our enemy,
hmm
we will begin to work on healing that creation of the Black family. Because if we don't, then everything is at stake. It will all begin to fall apart. And the whole thing is this. A lot of people say, well, you know, our ancestors did it different. Well, we're not them. We're in a whole different time. That's true. Then we have a responsibility in our time to figure out, how do we begin to connect with each other? How do we begin to communicate with each other? How do we begin then to create healthy connections between each other? Because it is most definitely important. Absolutely.
Absolutely. So I thank you for your jewels. I thank you for your love. I thank you for your correction. I thank you for the blessing of your presence, you and your royal family, all of the honors, all of the love, everything. And, don't be a stranger over here. Okay? Don't be a stranger over here in particular. I gotta be mad. I gotta be mad specific and specific, okay? Don't be a stranger over here, you know what I'm saying? Because we love you over here and we see your vision, and however we can help aid and assist in that vision, you already know what it is. Okay.
I greatly appreciate it. Thank you so much. And thank you for having me on here today.
Most definitely. Tell the people where they can find you before we go.
Okay, well, I am on Facebook under the name Phynix Eshe Obasi. I also have a page that you can find me at, that is My New Voice. Um, and you can also find me on Instagram as well. So with all of these things being the case, that's where you can find me at on social media. And I hope I get to connect with y'all soon.
All right. Ladies and gentlemen, the magnificent Phynix Eshe Obasi.
I say.
All right. I say we out, y'all. Peace and love.